Happy Tuesday. We have a very delightful treat. We're continuing the magic. We're going live with Jesse Golden. We just dropped the episode on the CLS Experience today. Feedback off the charts. Our community and audience is already in love with her. There's no surprises there. Talk about a beautiful soul. Jesse, I see you on. We're going to bring you on right now. Let's have some fun. And everybody joining us, let us know your current state in the chats from 1 to 10. Because Jesse and I take full responsibility to have you flying 20 out of 10 by the time this is over. Susan in the house. What a delightful treat. Let's have some fun, guys. Let's get nuts. And also, we're going to have so much fun right now. I can't wait. Beautiful day in New York City for a change. Finally feels like summer. There she
Hi.
is. Hey, you.
How are you?
Doing great. Even better now that I get to see you. How are you?
Yay. I'm good. I'm really good. Thank you.
You have the best aura ever.
I always say it takes one to know one. So if I get a good compliment, I always say that. It takes one to know one. So you must have a big aura.
That.
You do have a big aura.
Well, thank
Definitely.
you. If I could describe you, like yours in one word, a word that comes to mind is like tranquil, like tranquility, like very at peace in the best way possible.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. You look great. Where are you? Home?
I am home. I showered for you.
Hell yeah.
No, I had a great day actually. I worked out. I worked, I just did my dry brushing and sauna and showered, and I'm all oiled up in the Golden Secrets, of course, and excited to connect with you.
Same. And we had so much fun on the show. It was so easy, like the conversation, and we've already formed a friendship, and I know it's just the beginning, and those are my favorite. I have to ask you, I'm sure the audience is curious too, what did you work out today?
What did I work out? Full body. I just do like, I have, what are they, 10-pound weights. I've been incorporating like more weights into my practice. As we age, we need to do some weights, ladies.
You're like a fine wine.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Yeah, but I just did like squats and arms and shoulders and all those good things, get the heart rate going and then stretch.
Yeah, hell yeah. There's so many cool places we can take this conversation. There's a couple of good questions that I didn't get to ask on the episode, and I know they'll be valuable for the audience. And checking out your content, which I would highly suggest everybody do immediately. One of the things that you talk about, and I thought was awesome, that with the right partner, challenges don't tear you apart. They bring you together. And I'd love for you to dive in on that a little bit.
Well, I think partnership is such an opportunity to learn some of the biggest, lessons in our life. And I think if we're in a good place, I think it's normal when we're young, kind of meet a twin soul that really pulls out all the yucky stuff and mirrors all the stuff that we need to like shift through. But as we evolve and have more mature relationships, I think really challenging times can be an opportunity to bring you together, because people's true colors come out when you're going through tough stuff. And it's like, if your partner is going to be there for you, if you're going to be able to show up for them when they're weak and vice versa, I think, like we talked about it in the episode, it's like, I am a true believer that the biggest challenges in our life are opportunities to practice everything we've learned and to really show up. And, those lessons never end. We just have to become better students and like, practice everything that we're talking about,
Yeah, I love it. And there's a fine line between a breakdown and a breakthrough, right? And hopefully
a breakdown can be a breakthrough.
Yeah.
For sure. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. And hopefully with the relationship, that stuff is what builds character and builds a foundation, because you don't really know how strong something is if it's not tested. An analogy that just popped into my head, it's like, how do you know how strong you are if you don't try to lift heavier weights? And then you realize, oh, this is where I'm at. So, and then you kind of have a baseline or a foundation or a framework. And with a relationship, if you look at it from that perspective, every obstacle or challenge is an opportunity to build off that. And I think a lot of people today become a little trendy just based upon like the divorce rate, stuff like that. Like, oh, it's not in alignment, or just walk away. But sometimes, from a different perspective, that type of stuff can actually make you much stronger. Is it frozen?
Getting a little bits and pieces. Sorry, we froze. You froze for a second.
You'll never lose me.
There you go. There you go.
Is it better now?
Yeah, you're a little pixelated, but I got you. At least
You know what it is? Our alignment, our frequency is so strong, Jesse, that the internet can't handle
it. Exactly.
Yeah, but that stuff can really help a relationship with the right mindset.
Yeah, and I think just in any situation that we're in is just taking those challenges as an opportunity. I think it's normal to like want to shun away from anything that's a contrast, but through that we're able to like see what we don't want so that we can build on that and figure out what we do want. And without those contrasts in life, we wouldn't know. So yeah.
Yeah, we need the contrast. I love this. Every time I get together with you, it just feels like magic. There's one that I really wanted to ask you, and this might surprise you, but I think it's awesome. And you said something along the lines of maybe the next stage of your healing journey is to tell some people to just F off. And I'd love for you to dive in a little bit on that. And just to be honest, that's relatable for me.
Yeah. I mean, boundaries, I think it's such a huge thing, especially for me. This was like a challenging area because I come from like the yoga world, and it's like a very forgiving, all encompassing, all around, and just really being, but at the same time, you're just going to go in circles. So at a certain point, if you don't feel reciprocated, if all the blood is drawn from around somebody, that's a good indication. Sucking life on alignment. I think we need to like we just hit it off, we connect, it's like good vibes, and like that's where I let my guidance like lead me. Like if I'm around people that I love and that I feel good around, we talked a little about that too in the podcast. It's like sometimes I don't even remember what people look like, I just remember how I feel when I'm around them.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important, is to like see how you feel when you're around people, and it doesn't make you a bad person if you don't want to hang out with people that make you feel like shit. You could just carry on.
Essentially it's feedback, right? Yeah. Like the way you're feeling, and I know there's probably people like that are rolling their eyes or like, well, don't always listen to your feelings, but oftentimes they'll guide you. And I know for me, like there's times when I didn't want to go somewhere, but I gave in because I thought I was supposed to, and I was right.
It never works out. It never works out.
It never works out. Yeah.
I'm right there with you. And I think the older I get, I'm hoping the wiser I get, but just listening to that inner guidance gets stronger and stronger the more you listen to it. And I have like no tolerance for BS anymore. If someone asks me to do something and my body doesn't light up, then it's like a hell no. It's either a hell yes or a hell no. If it's like, well, then that's the answer. It's no.
I agree with you 100%. And not everyone's going to love that, but you can't please everybody.
Right. And, I think if you show up when you're not aligned with something, you're not going to do them any good either. So in the long run, it's really just procrastinating the inevitable. So you might as well just be honest with yourself to begin with, I feel.
Yeah, integrity and stuff like that. I love it. Beautiful. Jesse, one of the things that I really admire about you, besides the many, is how vulnerable you are. And even like when we were talking on the conversation and I asked you about some of the struggles and what it feels like trying to get pregnant and so forth, but even like back in the day when you talked about some of your health struggles and so forth, and when you do that, you really open up the space for other people to not only connect with you, but they might be going through it. Or maybe it just gives them an opportunity to know that they're not alone and stuff like that. I know it's not always easy and it takes courage. Was it always somewhat easy for you to show up and show your cards and be vulnerable and talk about soft things? Or is that something that you, like a muscle that you kind of had to develop?
This is a really interesting question because I just kind of like realized this right this second. When I was younger, I think people would put me in a category because of the way I looked, and they assumed that maybe I had it all or that I was wealthy. I was like a child model, and I danced. And so I had this like stigma on me. And I loved breaking that for people. I loved being like, actually, I come from a broken home. Actually, my stepdad was a drug and alcoholic. Actually, I've gone to Alateen. Actually, I grew up in a really awful, and I liked being able to share that with people. And then the reciprocation for me was always, all of a sudden people saw me for who I was beyond like the way that I looked when I was younger. And I saw that there was just an opportunity for me to connect with people. And then I started doing that when I was younger, and people would always just start sharing all of their stuff with me. And I was like, wow, this is like real human connection. This is what I'm craving. So I feel like it's always just come organically. If I was going through anything, I just always felt like I wanted to share, because there were times in my life maybe where I felt alone, and I was like, I don't want people to they're alone, especially with social media nowadays. Things can be perceived a certain way, and you can assume that people don't have struggles. Everybody has struggles. Everybody is messed up in some way and has struggles. We're all going through it, so I think it's important to share those tough moments, so people don't feel alone.
Yeah, so good. And interestingly enough, like that's when you really connect with people. And that's when the conversations get deeper, more profound, and just straight up better.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I love that you do that. I want to acknowledge you because you encourage people that that shouldn't be abnormal. Let's lean into that and talk about stuff more, because I know that it helps.
Yeah. Those are that's my favorite thing. Like if I just get a message and, oh, I listened to the podcast you did today, and it really changed my perspective or something. And it's just like, oh, that's what lights me up. If one person hears something that I share, then everything I've gone through is not in vain. All the pain, all the struggles, all the whatever. It's like, if it could help one person maybe make their journey a little bit easier in some way, then I feel like I've done my job.
I couldn't agree more. That's the real ROI these days.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah. I obviously have to ask you your skincare line.
Yes.
So my fiance is really big into this stuff, and I just posted a story the other day. She put on for the first time, put on like this mask, and I don't even know what was going on. But it's something I should probably get a little bit more educated with, especially as I get a little bit older and so forth. What's the deal with your skincare line? What's the inspiration behind it? And how can all my community who've been asking me all day, how do they get involved?
Yeah, well, I love sharing that I had no intention on becoming a skincare owner. I was simply making skincare for myself since high school, and people were always asking me, my last name is Golden, so people were kind of joking, but I'm talking multiple people for years, what's your golden secret? And I'm like, this is like that's a brand. That's a cool name. So I just started sharing the products that I was already making for myself. So it really came from an authentic place. But coming from the modeling world, I kind of saw like how marketing was, and that there was such a disconnect between what the person showing never even used the product. And it was just so vain. It's so like focused on just anti-aging and the way you look. So I really wanted to go beyond the skin in every facet. So I call it a holistic skincare line. We address the entire experience. I mean, like you just saying you did your mask, it's like, yeah, I need to do it for my skin, but also it's the experience, it's the ritual, it's the connection with your girlfriend, it's the moment of doing that for yourself, the self-love, the act of self-love, how it makes you feel afterwards. All of those things really matter. And that's my passion, is like sharing these amazing organic natural products that are so beautiful for your skin, your mind, body, and spirit, and like helping people instill acts of self-love throughout their day.
That was so beautiful, and I wasn't expecting that. No, straight up, and like I never even thought about that. That doing it, it's not so much of the benefits for your skin, but also the process of self-care, and maybe not, I don't want to say treating yourself a little bit, and taking care of yourself. And there's something beautiful about that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big connection for me was when I became a mom. It was like I noticed that those little micro moments of me doing a facial at home or a little gua sha or something, and how that would change my day and make me feel better about myself. And I think it's really important, So the way that I explain it, it's like we're most likely, especially women, we're going to wash our face, we're going to put face cream on, we're going to do all these things. So why don't we take that opportunity that we're already doing and use the Golden Secrets products as the tool to do the work? Say beautiful affirmations to yourself. Look in the mirror, and instead of focusing on the wrinkles and whatever negative things are happening, focus on what's beautiful and start rewiring that brain, because unfortunately we all have that negative self-talk, and we really need to focus on working it out, just like we work our bicep, to like retrain our brain for the positive.
Yeah, probably the most important thing that we do, right?
Yeah.
Not only physically fit, but every day stay mentally fit and work on that. And one of the things that you were just describing that made me think of, like, be kind to yourself, speak better, nicer words to yourself, affirmations, all that stuff. It really does help a lot.
Yeah, I always question myself, and I share this, like, put it through the best friend filter. Would you say what you're saying to yourself to your best friend?
Ooh,
And it's
good.
like, oh no, I wouldn't have a best friend if I said that stuff to her. So we really have to check in and make sure that we are, because, and I'm speaking from experience, that is literally, I think, like swallowing poison every day. It's just, energetically not healthy.
Yeah, I agree. And you move your body a lot and stuff like that. You think that helps and like opens up pathways and puts you in a better frequency to kind of handle that opponent or the limiting beliefs in your head?
Oh, I love that you just said that. Yeah, I mean, I've always said my whole life, like, I was a dancer, and I grew up in a really dysfunctional home, and there was a lot of chaos, and I literally transmuted everything through dance, through my body. Like, dance saved my life because I was able to, like, get everything out, shake it out. I was just thinking about this the other day, my dogs. I'm like, gosh, we could learn so much from animals. Like, dogs, when their like nervous system is triggered, they shake it off. And it's like something that we should do. Like, if our stress response gets triggered, naturally we tend to take a deep breath, which is a great way to like relax. But like literally just shaking it off through the body is like one of the best ways to let that go. So yeah, moving the body. And then, like with all your running and marathons, it's like, how clear do you get after all of that?
Best.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really is the best. I remember when we hopped on to film the show, you had your dogs in the background. I think we just got a brand new puppy, my fiance and I. I think I got him right after we spoke, so I don't think I showed him to you. But he really wants to say hi. He's going nuts right now.
I would love
Whiskey.
that.
He's going crazy.
Oh, was he the one making the noise?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's ferocious. Come here. Whiskey. Good boy. Yes. Yeah, his name is Whiskey. Oh, he's going nuts right now, but he wants to say hi.
Oh my gosh.
He's a killer Shih Tzu. Jesse, they're the best thing ever, but it is a full-time job, but it's awesome.
Dogs are like, I don't know, I get a little far, but I'm like, how do people not have dogs? Like, I don't understand. Like, now, I mean, I'm sure you can relate, but it's really hard to wake up on the wrong side of the bed when you wake up to a dog kissing your face.
I could not agree. I was telling my fiance the other day at walk, I'm like, there should be a law. Like, you have to have a dog. Like, it's good for your mental health. It's good for your well-being. It's just good, period. But I know not everyone's a dog person, but it really is the best. And I couldn't agree with you more. Like, how can you really have a bad day? Or even that bad of a moment when your dog's right there? And it's like, I always tease Alessia, my fiance, like, you know, Whiskey's #1 job is in the world is to wake up and love us.
Yes.
It's just the best.
Oh,
Yeah.
dogs are the best.
The best. I know. So much fun every time we get together. I have so much love for you, and I know it's just the beginning of the friendship. I can't wait to do so much more with you. Our community is obsessed with you, obviously. What's the best way for them to join you or follow what's going on? Social media, or is there like a community? How else can they be a little bit more intimate with you?
I mean, I share mostly on here, but I'm also on TikTok. I share a lot over there. But I would say here is like my #1, you know, where I share everything that's happening.
Cool. We're going to do so much more together. Thank you so much, as always. I'm going to text you in a little bit.
Thank
Have
you.
a great night. And I want to put the attention. I hope to see you soon in person, in real life, so much better.
I would love that.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Thank you, Jessie.
Have a beautiful night.
You too.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.